Well, these last few weeks have been the toughest I've had to deal with in living van life, and I have been living out of my van now for 4 years. But it hasn't been all bad. But let me talk about the good and the bad, what I've been up to the last several weeks, and I think let me talk about the bad first and get that out of the way, and then I can focus on some of the good things that have gone on over the last few weeks. Not many, but I want to focus on some of the good stuff. So how are all you doing out there? I've heard from a lot of you saying that you're out of work, you've been out of work. I've heard from some of you saying that you're going back to work soon. I'm glad to hear that. I hope everybody is holding up well. I worry about people being out of work for so long, as well as people getting sick. So one of the things that has been both good and bad for me is that I have not been out of work. I've been working steadily through the shutdown. Some of you know that I work in a warehouse, and warehouses are allowed to stay open. Rather oddly, we have been busier than we've ever been before. In fact, we've been so busy, we added a second shift. I have been working that second shift, which has been a little bit better for me, a little bit of a change in my daily schedule that I'm trying to get used to, but the amount of work has been just incredible. We have been working 6 days a week and overtime every day, and that overtime has been mandatory. We have to show up. There's no question about it. So I have been extremely tired. So on the one hand, I am very happy that I have been working. On the other hand, not real pleased with all the overtime. It's also brought up kind of some strange feelings with me in that there's so many people that are out of work that I just feel like it's a little unfair that not only have I been working, but I've had a bunch of overtime hours when there's so many people that have been out of work. It just doesn't seem fair. But I guess that is the climate that we're in now. This current time just doesn't seem fair for any of us. So again, I don't want to sound like I am complaining about working. I would have been in very bad financial shape if I had lost my job. So I'm happy about that. Even though I do worry about all the people that are out of work. One of the things I've been focusing on is trying to support some of the local businesses. So early on, since I'm in a state, Washington state, that we've had a stay home order put into effect over the last several weeks. At first, I was trying to do all of my shopping once a week and not go anywhere. That proved to be not so good for my health. Where I am, there's not a lot of healthy food options, and so shopping once a week and relying on just normal grocery stores was not doing so well. So I was feeling very poorly. Not that I was sick with the flu, just I wasn't eating the way I should have been eating, and that really affected my health, especially because of all the hours. So I decided to do a little bit more shopping. I'm still not shopping the way I used to shop every couple of days, is what I'm normally used to doing, but I have been shopping just a little bit more and keeping my fridge filled. I've been traveling just a little bit farther so that I can go to stores that sell food that I should be eating instead of buying food that doesn't work well for me. So since I've been doing that, I've been feeling a whole lot better. I really didn't know what I was going to do if I had to keep up that practice of just shopping once a week. Now, I had a little dilemma when the stay home, stay healthy order was put into place by the governor of Washington State, because I live in my van. So I wasn't quite sure where I was going to park. I normally park all over the place, wherever I want to park. I figured that wasn't a good idea since there was that order put into place. So for the last several weeks, I have been parking at work. One of the reasons that I have been very adamant about not being stealthy, I tell everybody that I live out of my van. That includes my work. And so it wasn't a problem that I just parked at work. It was a problem parking at work for an extended period of time because just kind of the psychological thing of never leaving work was really draining on me. I was working very long hours, and then when I'd go home, get in the van, I wasn't going anywhere. I mean, I just wasn't driving for days at a time. The van would stay parked. So that was kind of a problem at first. I've decided to stop doing that just this week. I've not been parking at work, and I'm going to try to keep that up. Things are now starting to open up here in the state of Washington, and so it seems like I'm able to just go back to parking in my old parking places. It hasn't been a problem so far. So that's been good, at least for my mental health. Now, I have had some difficulties over the last few weeks. For one, I normally shower at my gym, and since that has been closed, I have had to rely on keeping clean here in my van. That hasn't been a huge problem because I do have a sink with running water. This is something I use quite often anyway, but it's been a little bit of an adjustment not having a gym shower to go to and just being able to clean up here in the van. I've done a few things to kind of help improve that situation. This is one of the good things that has happened. Since I've been in the van so much, doing more cooking, doing more cleaning, cleaning me, washing dishes, making all of my coffee here in the van, I decided to go ahead and update my water storage. So I used to have a 5-gallon water tank that fed the sink. I now have a 7-gallon water tank, and then I have a 5-gallon reserve tank. So that's a little improvement that I think will help things going forward. It certainly was necessary over the last few weeks to just have a little bit more water so I didn't have to go get water quite so often. Another thing that I did was I updated my water filter situation. I used to have just 2 of these 4-gallon containers for my water filter, and that was proving to be not enough water. So I didn't feel like I needed to switch out both of these. I just added a larger container on the bottom. That's 6 quarts on the bottom, and so that gives me quite a bit more water storage. And it was a few dollars in cost to buy the new bucket and to put it together. So that was another good thing. I was going through a lot more water than normal. So a couple of little good things. And another good thing was, since I've been parked primarily at work, I've had a little bit more time to get some things done just because I haven't been driving around. And I was able to take a little bit of time and replace my carpet because that was disgusting. And I just hadn't been taking the time to fix that. Just need to get pulled up and thrown out. So I finally did that. There was no cleaning that stuff, so I just bought some new indoor-outdoor carpeting and laid the new one in place, and it's been a huge improvement, again, for my mental state, just having a little bit cleaner floor. Tell me, how's it been for you guys? Are you working? Are you able to get out? The weather's been nice here. How's it been where you are? Have you been able to get out? Have you been able to at least enjoy the weather? I hope so, because this has been, I think for me, it's been the worst of my 4 years of living in my van. But I hope that things are now changing. And I hope things are changing for you too.